Stephen. Welcome to Behind the Brush. Thanks so much for
Mm.
being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I briefly told our audience how we got to meet, and they actually heard on a couple episodes all about the retreat for the Field and Flow.
Mhm.
So they've gotten to know a little bit about that, but they definitely don't know about you. So I'm very excited for it to be his face right now. It's like, oh no. We're gonna go
Uh-oh.
behind the scenes, but you're the boss. You get to
Okay.
choose which doors we open. So we're just gonna learn all about you. But I know that it's gonna inspire people because a lot of artists go, somebody has a 20 plus year career. Wow. Like tell me
Yeah.
how does that happen? So I'm just yeah, that's a big question. So I'm going to break it down to little pieces. Here's my first question for you. When did painting for you stop feeling like something, kind of like something to prove, and start feeling like something that you wanted to keep doing?
That's a tough one. Wow, you just started right off the bat, just hitting me with the hard ones. I've always been able to draw, but not necessarily paint. So I didn't really get going painting or feeling confident about it till maybe 2008. By that time, I was about 8 years out of school. If anybody remembers 2008, it was not a good time just for the economy. So I quit my part-time job and said, "Okay, this is going to be real. We're going to do this." A lot of things happened at that time. Met my wife. I quit, like I said, I quit my job, my part-time job. I got my first gallery representation.
God.
I used to work at Granger, which is an industrial supply company, and I was on a cherry picker or forklift for 8 hours a day.
And did you do that for the 8 years after college?
No, I did that for about 4 years. Prior to that, I was working at a frame shop, kind of similar to Michael's. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then I needed something to like not be creative and just blank out and get excited. So like after you on a forklift for 8 hours a day, you get really excited about going home and painting as opposed to draining yourself being creative all day and then going to paint. So I picked that because of what I thought it might help me do later.
That actually is wise. I don't know why that's ever crossed my mind to do something that doesn't drain your creative brain if you are
Yeah.
in a season where a part-time job needs to be a piece of the picture. That's actually
Well, I had a lot of friends that graduated with me and they got jobs as graphic designers, but they wanted to be illustrators or they wanted to be painters. And they just didn't have the energy after being at their job for 8 hours a day. So I understood.
that's so smart. So you graduated with the intention that like I hope art will become my full-time job, or were you even
Mhm.
sure that it could?
I was pretty sure that it could because, like, when I was in middle school and high school, I would go to school with like just the money that my parents gave me for lunch, and I would end up coming home with more money
That's awesome.
because I would draw people's projects or their trifold projects that they needed images for, and I would just rack up money. So I kind of felt like, okay, business wise, I'm going to be just fine if I can just get in front of the right people.
That's so smart. For people listening, I have a giant smile on my face because I love that story. I love knowing that you came home with more money because you're like, "Yeah, I could draw it for you." I wasn't as
Yeah.
smart as you. I didn't know to charge. I just got sucked
Yeah.
in and and they're like, "Get Kelly to draw it." Okay, well, so you clearly have such a smart mind for the business side of things, and we can talk more about that. I interjected because I love to hear, like, the little bits along the way, but
Yeah.
you got to the place where you're like, "This is something I definitely wanna keep doing." Was that inspired because you kinda always knew you wanted to keep doing it? Or was
Oh,
it
yeah.
like okay, and you started getting gallery representation in 2008 as well?
Everything took off, honestly, when I met my wife,
That's
um, because she quit her job and moved to Virginia to be with me. I quit my job to go full time and to work with her. She's a graphic designer, So we met in grad school. We just decided, okay, we're just going to go all in. We just use our savings and go all in on this. So she was really, and still is, really big on encouraging me to take chances and things like that. So I wouldn't have gotten that first gallery representation without her because she nudged me to go to this opening that I was in, and these gallery owners came and they hadn't even opened their gallery yet. They were just looking for talent, and if I hadn't shown up,
I love that.
I wouldn't have met them.